Today, we're going to be talking about how you can use YouTube to grow your business. I do want to give a shout out again to our Google partners who are making all of this happen. That's the Oklahoma SBDC, the Dallas Independent School District, the Texarkana Chamber of Commerce, that's Dress for Success Triangle in North Carolina, the Sul Ross Rio Grande College SBDC. We have America's SBDC at Tarleton State. We have Texas Tech University here as well, Northwest Texas SBDC Network, and we've got America's SBDC at WTAMU. So I'm excited to have all of you here today and very grateful that your Google partners cared enough about your community to make this happen. Please reach out to them after the webinar because they have the team members as well as the true desire and vetting in your success. They want your success. They are there for you, okay? All right, everybody. No need to have to put your email address or anything in there. It's picking up with whatever you registered with, but you do have to comment there to get a copy of it. Let's go ahead and dive in again. If you do need closed captioning, here it is right here. If you are tweeting or posting, if you'll use the hashtag Grow with Google, it lets the entire contact sphere that you have know that you're leveling up your skills, but it also lets the Google team know that this matters to you and that encourages them to create more like this. And then, of course, if you're tweeting, use this here right here to tag me on a tweet. You can use this right here, my full name, Maria Elena Duron. You can use that to tag me on an Instagram if you'd like, and I'll make sure to share you in my stories or repost you or retweet you. Make sense? All right, let's dive in, everybody. Let me see. Okay, gosh, I see everybody commenting. Great, very good, very, very good. Let's go in. Let's talk about how people are utilizing YouTube. Over 2 billion monthly users, a month, and then 1 billion hours of video play, okay? Now do know, just so you know, everybody who is asking for a recording, when I get to the question and answer part, I do turn off the recording for that. That is only for the people that are here live in person. So I leave that for them, plus it keeps it private for them, but I do want you to know that if you're here and you want the recording, you can have that, but if you want the full benefit and the live Q&A, hang out with me because I'm going to show you some things that you may miss after I turn off the recording part, okay? All right, let's talk about this. 1 billion hours of video. That's amazing. In fact, how many of you, let me know if you've already been watching video today, be it on YouTube, it could be TikTok, could be Instagram Reels that you're looking at, maybe a LinkedIn video. How many are actually seeing this today? Some people did YouTube. Some people also did a recording. Some people have been on YouTube. Anybody else just YouTube? YouTube. Okay, some have been looking at Facebook too. YouTube and TikTok, understand that. I was on TikTok earlier. I was also on YouTube. This whole setup, that's why I'm a little bit clunky with sharing the screen because I flip-flopped everything. So I had to do attachments. Of course, it came with instructions. This chair is new to me as well, but I just go onto YouTube anytime I need any directions because that's where I like to watch things put together. Very visual person. So a lot of people, consumer and producing side, great chase. Instagram, yep, YouTube all day while you're working, right? Because you can just go there and learn right away. Now, we also use it for discovering too. We see new things that happen on YouTube. In fact, there's quite a rapport that's actually built on with YouTube. So do know that only 26% of businesses have a YouTube posting strategy, a YouTube marketing strategy. It is a chance for us as small businesses who are super nimble, who are very in touch and very close to our customers, to be able to use something that's very personal. It feels like we build rapport with somebody when we watch them on YouTube. They absolutely are elevating their credibility. And it gives us a great chance to reach people and reach potential customers where other businesses still are stuck with trying to figure out how to come up with their personal voice or how to learn a little bit more about their customer. And then also we know that people are shopping on YouTube. They look at YouTube when they're shopping. They want to make some decisions. In fact, 4 out of 5 videos on YouTube that are viewed every single day are unboxing videos because we'd like to make sure that we're not making a mistake and we want to see an actual product in use and get a good description of it. So today we're going to talk about how you can create your YouTube channel. We'll also talk about how you can add videos. Now let me know in the question box, do you have a YouTube channel already? Yes or no? Please share that with me. And if you want to share the URL with me, share that with me. I'll save the comments for afterwards. I can't subscribe right now, but I can afterwards if you want to. So a bunch of people said yes, and then followed by a bunch of people that said no. So for those of you who said no, I'm going to make sure that you know how to create it. But those who said yes, I'm going to show you how to optimize it too, because not everybody's maximizing the use of their YouTube channel. Okay. Yes, but not actively using it. I understand that. I've been guilty of that myself. Now I will, everything that I'm talking about today is 100% free, but do know that I will talk about video ads. Now that is the paid portion. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about that, but I'm really going to spend about how you can maximize and not have to spend a lot of money on that and use a lot of things where you get a little bit more free visibility. And then of course, I always end things with a recap and with resources. They're all free resources. All right, deal with everybody? That's a good deal. Make sure you're asking questions here. That's the best place to do it. And I do see good comments back and forth. Oh, perfect. Thank you for sending your links also. Felicia, Sophia, Sophie, I appreciate you doing that. All right, let's talk about creating a YouTube channel. First things first, you have to sign into YouTube. So this is how you sign into YouTube. You'll go to youtube.com. You're going to click sign in and create your channel. Now, if you already have a free personal Gmail account or free Google account, you can also find this by going up at the very top right-hand corner. You'll click on a keypad. It looks like a little keypad, and it's an app keypad. We trainers love to call it the app waffle, but click on there and it'll drop down. You can click on YouTube there and you'll be immediately tumbled into your own channel. Okay, but if you're still setting it up, then you're going to go to youtube.com and you'll sign in here. Once you do that, what you'll see is you have the ability to create that channel here, so you can click to create it in that drop down, and you can also click here to create the channel. So there's a couple of places we give you the option to set up your YouTube channel. And once you do that, now you can start customizing your channel. So when I say customizing your channel, stop for a moment and think about your brand. Think about what your visual brand is. What's the photo that you're using on your Instagram profile, LinkedIn profile, maybe your Google business profile? Could be even on Facebook. Whatever people are seeing, you do want some consistency. There is a huge amount of trust that's actually built up when people are consistent with their branding. When they can see the same photo and the same colors, there is a trust and comfort level for people that are not at some random phishing site or maybe a place that has nothing to do with, and they've made a mistake, nothing to do with what they're looking for, and they've made a mistake. Okay, so now you can also upload a video. What happens is you look here, this is what it looks like when you access YouTube Studio. So the YouTube Studio gives you all the opportunity to look at the dashboard, to look at analytics and how your videos are doing, who's actually watching your video, where are they located at, how long have they watched your video, did they watch it a quarter of the way in, a halfway in, all the way to the end. They're watching it all to the way to the end. That's a clue, everyone, that they like those kind of videos. Maybe create more like that, because that's absolutely capturing the attention of your customer or your potential customer. Okay, so as we see here with YouTube video in the back end, just like any other Google tool, all of the navigation happens on that left-hand side. You can see you have the opportunity to work on the layout and to also feature sections. So let me know, for those of you who have a YouTube channel, how many of you are just uploading and letting it by default highlight the latest video that you uploaded, or how many have set up your playlist and your sections? How many of you have set up these featured sections? Let me know in the question box, okay? Oh, wonderful, Randall. Joseph, thank you for sending your URL over. Perfect. I will definitely. Okay, so I see one person has a playlist. Videos, okay, so videos are old. Understand that. Time to refresh. No setup. Some have a playlist. Okay, great. If you have a playlist, that's great, because that helps also not just with organization and ease for the user who's looking at your channel, but it also helps the search engine be able to find everything that it needs. It makes you more searchable. Now, do know, while Google's the #1 search engine in the world, the #2 search engine in the world is YouTube. Now, this is what makes YouTube so unique, though. It's the #2 search engine in the world, meaning you've got longevity. You can put actual videos in there that, even if they're a long time, Randall, they live there for a long time, very evergreen. But it's also the #2 social network in the world. So it has a social aspect to it. It hits both, and both are owned by Google. So it's very important for you to know how people search for you and what they're most interested in, and understand how to be visible. Because if you're not visible, if people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. So it's very important for you to understand everything that we're going through today and maximizing the tool. First is layout and then the featured section. So you see you have the opportunity to do a video spotlight. Now you see here, it's a channel trailer. That's the first thing that you highlight. And just like the name says, it's a trailer, like a movie trailer. It's a it's a snippet of what they're going to see. It's the highlight reel. So you do want to draw them in and encourage them to subscribe. They're about to give you a part of their attention, and people are very restrictive and very conservative with their attention. So if they're going to subscribe to your channel, why should they do that? That's what you say in the channel trailer. Give them a little sneak peek. But then in the featured video, that's when you now say thank you. They just gave you the ability to connect with them and to get notifications. They hit that bell. You want to say thank you and explain to them what they are going to get for doing this. Every Thursday, I upload a video at 10 o'clock. I'm going to cover things, or every Tuesday, I cover what our memberships can do here. I cover some of the things that the Oklahoma SBDC is having on webinar or workshops. So that happens on Friday. You can outline all of that in the featured video. And then, of course, the sections we'll go over in just a moment, okay? All right, let me see here. There we go. Now, to brand your channel, remember what I said, you're looking for that consistency. There's a reason when we're rolling down the road, we see those golden arches, we know exactly what that means. It's the same with you. You do want that confirmation because, again, it builds trust. You can put a profile picture there, utilize the profile picture that you utilize within all of your different socials, and then of course a banner image at the top. Think about what you use, because I have a banner image I use on my Twitter account. I use a different image maybe on LinkedIn, but really it's the same image. It's just a different focus of the same image. So it's not the same centered area, but it does definitely have the same branding, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit more about customization here. You can put your channel name in your description. Think about your brand, but also think about how people search and what they're looking for. So the name of your channel needs to match your brand. That consistency is important, but then the information in there, the description, needs to match the way people search. And it's important for you to know how people search. This you can't at all skimp on. Because if you try to think how people are going to search and you put in the words you would look for it and not them, well, unless you're your best customer, then no, they're not going to find you that way. It's really important for you to know their words. What do they say, or what do they text in when they're searching on their mobile? What do they say when they say, hey Google, hey Alexa? What are those keyword phrases? Because we search more than just in a few words, but in phrases, full phrases too. Make sure that is included in your description. And then of course you could put your channel URL, the link there. You can customize it after you have so many subscribers. So after you have 100 subscribers, you can start customizing it. After 1,000, you can go live on a mobile device. Look at your URL, look at your links, and here's an expert tip, okay, with the links. Don't just go with the default link. So there's default links like Facebook, and it just says Facebook, and you could do that, but it already has the icon there. You already notice the little Facebook brand. Why don't you put, say, join our community? Maybe you have a whole community of social proof happening on Facebook. So instead of just leaving the text Facebook, you can change it to say, join our community. Maybe with your website, you help people grow their small business, okay? So it could just say you're the Oklahoma SBDC, but maybe next to the little website, the little world, that's what I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is the little world, the little globe. It can actually say, grow your business, grow your small business, and they can click there and go to your site. So you can customize that, which if you use text and change the text, it is also searchable, which shows up higher in search, okay? So think of that and think of ways you can customize and truly brand all of this for you. Oh my gosh, Randall just sharing a great story. He got a $12,000 client from an 8-year-old video. I tell you, videos stay for a long time, and people feel a good closeness to people that they see in video and they watch on a routine basis. They almost feel that there's a friend aspect there. I knew it back when I was on television, because we do local news, right? And I was the business coach for local news, and I would see people at the grocery store and they'd say, hey Maria, I didn't know who they were. but they knew me because every morning, 6:30 in the morning, they invited me when they were having their cup of coffee. They felt like we were close. So the same thing happens in YouTube. There's this real strong rapport building that can happen. Now, in front of you, you're seeing the banner image. So you see he's customized this. The DIY creator guy, he has this same look on all of his socials. He also has a video spotlight. So he did the trailer, but once you become a subscriber, now you have a spotlight video and you can share a little bit more with them and also highlight even your newest videos, right? All right, now this is what it looks like with playlist. So in his case, he's using the DIY build and furniture. So let's talk about this as well as concrete, because by default, Google uploads the latest video and it highlights that. But this is what I mean when I say organized by playlist. It looks like bookshelves. This is actually under, so let me take you back to where we were a moment ago. You can see here, this is under here at the lower part. This is what it looks like. Oops, far back. Let's go back here. Forward. It looks like bookshelves. It truly is organized by topic. That what happens when you do that is when you name a playlist, all of that is searchable. It also makes it easy for the person, the user, to find it and they have a great experience, which increases your quality score with Google. So you want both of those because they're heavy in the algorithm. They're a heavy part of it. And also you do need to break it up a little bit. Understand we are fast-paced people. We are getting about 12,000 messages on any given day. We all have only 86,400 seconds in any given day. So we are trying to figure out what we want to pay attention with. And it does have to be shorter, and encourage you to actually cut up your videos so they are short like that. Excuse me, because we definitely in the last 2 years have been taught well by Netflix, and we learn better and share better episodically. We don't want to watch the entire season of Squid Games to see what happened in season 1, episode 8 in the last 15 minutes. We want that broken into bite-sized pieces. When it's snackable like that, we share it with other people. We have more tendency to let it actually grow amongst our contacts because we feel comfortable sharing something that short as well as viewing that. You have that ability too within setting up your playlist. Set that up. Think of what are some common themes for your playlist and what do people commonly search you for, and that's how you decide what your playlist lists are, and you can list those all underneath, and it makes it really nice and easy for both search, the YouTube search, and Google search, and people to search and find you. All right, any questions before we go to the next section? Because we've got the basics down on how to set up the channel, but if you've got any questions, let me know. And also, I want you to think about what is it that you already think that is something of value, that was helpful, that you've already heard. I'd love to hear in the question box, okay? Now, your next decision is how and what kind of videos are you going to put on your channel? What's the purpose and the goal of your channel? This is important because it'll determine whether or not you need a full production here, like you're seeing right here in front of you. The full production, if, let's say you're an employer brand and you're trying to bring people in to become employees. So you want to highlight the office, you do want to highlight all the additional learning that you have available, and you want to highlight maybe even some of the people on the team there. So could be your new people that you work with, right? Your coworkers. It could be that. Or maybe you want something as immediate and authentic and raw as utilizing your phone. So I've got 2 phones, right? 2 pretty, they're pretty stout studios, production studios. Because for what I like to use it for, I like to use it for in real time what's happening. And the reason I do is because before everything happened with COVID, you would normally find me on the San Diego Comic-Con floor. Any Comic-Con you'd find me in. A lot of the businesses I work with are on Twitch, on Discord, and there's a whole web series creator community, Webtoons community. I'm heavily involved in that community. And because of that, when I'm surrounded by 100,000 of my dearest and closest friends on Comic-Con floor, I will use this to be able to show everybody the first look that I'm seeing on preview night. So that might be what you want to do with your actual videos. Is it to give them a sneak peek, and behind the scenes, people like to be flies on the wall and see things that other people don't get to see. What is the purpose of your video? Because that will determine how you produce your video. Again, what is that end result you think that you want from your videos? And really, that's how you're going to measure all of this. What is that end result? When you look at your successful videos and when you determine if something's successful, what are you measuring by? What does success look like, sound like, feel like? That's all important, okay? Now, as you see here, there's an outline of the video concept. What is the story that you want to tell? What's the purpose? So what is the goal that you want to achieve, and who is the star? Is it you? Is it a customer? Is it a team member? It could be the product. I just helped a team do a Kickstarter, and the product was the star of the entire video. It had to be, because they were trying to get people to fund that product, okay? So for you, who is that star? Think about that. And now think about the layout, because it's really important for you to have an outline. Even if you don't script it word for word, have an outline of what the direction is and the purpose and the goal is of your video. Now, a lot of businesses like to start with the story of their business, the business story. And I absolutely prefer the hero story, the hero journey story, more than anything else. And here's why. Because there's a really strong structure to it. For example, let's say I was on video and I said, hey, my name's Maria. I'm an insurance agent, property and casualty, and I can help insure your house, your boat, your car, any recreational vehicles, and that you're covered. You don't have to worry about if something happens, an accident, or fire or anything. I will take care of you. You are completely covered, and I am here for you. My name's Maria Elena Duron, 555-1212. Okay? I could do something like that, but let me give you some structure to that. It's called the hero journey, and it is a very basic 5-year-old story structure, and that is once upon a time, suddenly, luckily, happily ever after. There's a structure to that. You just don't use those words, but they're the prompts for you in your head. So for example, let me do that video over again using the hero story and the 5-year-old storyline. And that is, so my dad was a insurance agent, and he had a family come to our door one night to thank him for insuring their house. It had burned down, and they were so grateful not to lose any life, but even more grateful to my dad that everything that they considered important belongings, they were going to be able to take care of themselves and their family. When I saw how grateful they were, it was at that moment that I knew, I want to do this. I want to help people who are so stressed out and focused on all the tragedy that's happening in their life that I've taken care of the basics that they need. And that's why I am an insurance agent. I can help you. My name is Maria Elena Duron, 555-1212. See the difference? You see, facts tell, but stories sell. When you think about that, as creatures, we are story-focused creatures. When I talk to my kiddos, I've got 3 boys, and I ask them, you know, what do you want to do? How would you like to end the night? What do you want more of? It's always, Mom, story time, story time, story time. That's what they want, more stories. So are you telling your business story? Again, it's once upon a time, suddenly, luckily, happily ever after. That's the hero's journey. Now get really good at that and being able to do it in 30 seconds, and you really have a good, strong, solid story that gets people feeling. And when people feel, all those emotions are actually excited and ready to go. Now they will be more able and open to buying from you. Make sense? All right. Now, let's go to the next story that you can do. You can do a product story too. So think of that. You can tell the details of a product. Remember what I said about unboxing. You can tell how this helps with neatness. But again, think of the person that you're looking straight down the camera at. And you've got to get really good knowing where that camera is. Don't look at the light next to it. Don't be, if you're on a laptop, don't look down so they see the top of your head. Look straight at the camera. Know where that is and tell them what are the benefits for them, not features. Okay, this has a great little tray that pulls out. What does that tray mean to them? Everybody at the other end of the camera has WIIFM tattooed on their head, and it's our job as professionals to answer that for them. The WIIFM stands for what's in it for me, okay? What's in it for them? Connect those dots for them. That's our job as professionals. And the next thing that you can also do is do a story that's promotional. It's very focused. Maybe you have an offer that you have for them. Maybe you have an event like a webinar. So maybe Cindy with the OK SBDC, you might have wanted to do a video saying, hey, we're going to have Grow with Google come out and speak to us, and training straight from Google about how you can use the 2 strongest search engines in the world to help your business become more visible. Okay? Now, what you can also do is share these and focus on these best practices, which is be clear and concise. Have a clear message. Do not try to cover 4 different topics in one video. It is too much. Even with how-to videos, if you go too lengthy, even though people are interested, it's not something that they'll go back to or share with other people. Remember, you've got 5 to 15 seconds to make that strong first impression. That's it. If you don't capture their attention, they're on to the next video. And you do have to have a really strong call to action. It's not because people are stupid, but it's because we're busy. Remember what I said? 12,000 messages, they're inundated on any given day. So we may not know what to do next. We might be looking at your video thinking, oh, we love that. And then all of a sudden the dog needs to go out, the phone rang, or your boss came in and said you needed to get this done. A phone call came in, you got a text message, your son had a car accident. I mean, it could have been all sorts of things, but it's distracting you. You need to tell them what you need to do next. In fact, it's really important for you to understand, number one, what's the goal of your video? What does success look like? Because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent, not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. So you do need to measure that, and that needs to be set out in goals and measurable goals. Number two is to know exactly what you want them to feel when they see your video. Do you want them to feel excited, empowered, ready to take on the world? Do you want them to feel fearful, scared, concerned, worried? Do you want them to feel educated? Okay. What do you want them to feel? And then the third is a strong call to action. What do they need to do next? Tell them in your video, what do they need to do next to be able to go further along? Watch this next video in the series. Visit our site and fill out the form. Make sure you come out to the next ribbon cutting. What is the call to action? Now, here are some common ways that you can actually produce your video. We've all seen it, selfie. We know there's no zoom camera at the very front. Take a look at what's behind you. It could be that you're playing some video with no sound and you're voicing over that. It could be text over that you're also putting through there. You could animate and use all sorts of filters. I like to use that. In fact, I usually start my videos on an Instagram reel. I'll download that and upload that to YouTube Shorts because I'm a big fan of repurposing content. We're too busy as business people to create new content every single moment. We can repurpose content because not everybody's on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn. And we know that people are searching YouTube and Google. So why not hit them all? What's wrong with doing that? I'm a big fan of, if you want to be in a race, you should have more horses in the race. It gives you a better chance to actually win the race. And if the race is for people's visibility and for their business, then absolutely, I'm going to put as many horses as I can to win that race. Now, when you look behind you, double check the logistics when you are shooting video. We've all been on video calls by now where somebody's spouse or significant other walked out when we weren't expecting them to walk out of a bathroom. We saw more than we wanted to with an unmade bed or a dog doing something in the background. Whatever it is, look behind you because this is a part of your brand. Then also look at lighting. Right now, so I happen to be broadcasting from my home because we're all still remote in the Google team. And I have 2 Lume cubes actually set up because I'm in a corner, so I don't have natural light. The light that I'm getting actually does throw a little bit of shadow from the room. So I have 2 Lume cubes here. I'm not promoting one or the other because I'm not a spokesperson for each, but I know that the ring light gives a little glow in my eye and I look like an evil demon on the video. So I don't like that, but I do like what the Lume cubes do. You need to find out what works for you. And then sound. This is critical because people will be forgiving of the light or even the little bit of shakiness, think of Blair Witch Project, we understood it, but they'll never ever be forgiving of sound, ever. If it's a little crunchy, a little faint, it's too loud and there's too much echoey. So think of, do you hear the fans going? Do you have a heater blowing? Do you hear the little flap in the heater going in and out? Because people are going to hear that. Your microphone will pick that up, and understand that whatever you can do to make sound work, they'll be forgiving of everything else but sound. And here's the thing, even when I was surrounded by 100,000 of my closest friends, and this has a great microphone, I still plugged in an external microphone and put it in here. Because standing at 5 foot, I couldn't see over anybody, and all the sound was falling on me anytime I'm trying to talk into my phone. So I would utilize an external mic to make sure that, again, you've got good video, good sound there. Now people will at least hang on. You also, when we're talking about sound, you have access to an audio library. This complete library here that you see right in front of you is all royalty free, as well as it adheres to the Creative Commons license. So you can use this audio. What's nice is, let's say you're doing a YouTube short, because those usually run about 15 seconds unless you're using a copyright free audio in the background, then you can go to a minute. But do know that you could use this in case you do need that, because maybe you had a great sound that you found on Instagram, you know, in music, but it doesn't, you can't use it on YouTube because you're getting the little copyright ding. You can absolutely replace it here with the audio here in the audio library. Didn't know if you knew about that audio library, but I know a lot of people like it when they see that. Now, any questions before we go further into how to upload a video? Anything that you see right now is going to help you make your business better already that you've learned from today? Let me know in the question box, okay? Now, how you can add videos, you'll see here at the very top right-hand corner. There we are. You can upload videos there. You can select from your device what videos that you're going to actually bring up and load. And then now you have a chance to create that title for the video, create a description for the video, excuse me, and a thumbnail. Sorry, we got cold here, and so the wind blew in, and I just need to clear my throat. Sorry to do that in your ear. But your description, think about the ways people look for you and use those words in your description. The same thing with the title, but what's nice is you can set up a template here. I like to do that. So I have a template of about our free Facebook group that we have in community. I have a template that has a little bit of snippet about who we help and what we do. And I use that immediately. So all I have to do when I do upload a video is I just have to customize the title and the thumbnail. Now, what we found with thumbnail is that if you leave it to default, you'll have the worst picture that you've ever been stopped at to showcase you on a video, but videos that have big words. So when I say big words, it's easy to see because this is a thumbnail and they have a person's face on there, actually do a lot better than ones that are just riddled with all sorts of text at the very front, okay? So keep that in mind when you look at your thumbnails. Really think of your branding too. What's that look you want people to have or your channel to have as people are coming to your channel? Now, I do see a question here. Is there a specific light you use? So I actually happen to use the Lume Cube. I'm not promoting them one or another. I don't have an Amazon link to get a little kickback from there. It is just that's what I use. I use a couple of Lume Cubes here. And let's see, another question. Is it okay to download my Facebook videos and upload them? Yes, absolutely. I would repurpose that. Not everybody's on Facebook. And I want to make sure that if I'm going to go through the trouble of making content, why shouldn't everybody see it? You need to be the same way too, because I know you're busy. You're butcher, baker, and candlestick maker in your business, and creating video, while it could be fun for a moment, can be truly time consuming if you have to do and recreate video every single day, okay? Yes, Lume, L-U-M-E, Cube, C-U-B-E. Great questions, Patrick, thank you. Now, as you're looking here, you can also add subtitles if you'd like to. You can also add an end screen. I always add an end screen because I want to, again, empower them to go to the next step. That's that call to action. So it could be they watch one video and say, oh, the next video to watch is how to become a client of the OK SBDC. So it could be that, or how to become involved with Dress for Success to make sure you're getting the most from it, or how to be a better member, or how to make sure you're maximizing your membership at the Texarkana Chamber of Commerce. So it could be any of those. So put that as an end screen. That's what I like to do, is to connect them to another video. You can also have cards pop up that are highlighting different things. Like we have a webinar with Maria coming up this week, so you might want to include that. Then after that, then you can check. It'll actually do this automatically as you go to this next area. It will check to see whether or not there's any copyright infringements. And once you have the green check, that means you're ready to go. There's no issues. You can go on to the next screen. Now, once you go to this screen, you have a few choices here. And let me see, there is a question. Is it a must to have a Google account in order to create a YouTube account? No, Roberta, but it does create a Google account. When you create a YouTube account, it does create a free Google account, okay? Not a Gmail account, because you don't have to have Gmail. That's one of the other tools. You could just have a Google account and not worry about Gmail. I hope that answers your question. So the next decision you need to make is what happens next. Is this going to be saved or are you going to publish it? Now, if you choose private, that is private. It means that you have to write the email address that is going to be there that gets it. So if you're sending it to your mom at gmail.com, then mom has to be logged into mom@gmail.com. A lot of people like to do this, especially with memberships, trying to say that too fast, membership specific sites and content. The only thing is you do have to remember and let people know, especially your members, that they need to log in to their Google account or their YouTube account using the email or the address that this was sent to. They can't, like, for example, my poor mom, she's got 3 different Gmail accounts because it's so easy to make Gmail accounts. And when she gets a membership link that's private, she always becomes confused and calls me because she says, you know, I can't find it. And I have to go back and say, which email did you do this with? Because it's going to connect only with that email and only the person associated with that email logged into it can get to it. A lot of people will use unlisted. So unlisted means that it's not showing up on your channel. The URL is usually a long URL filled with a lot of characters and different punctuation marks. So it's very much like gibberish and it's hard to find, but it makes it unlisted, but does ensure that somebody doesn't have to be logged into a Google or YouTube account to see it. Or you can make it public because, hey, we're small business and we want it public. We want people to see and be able to know that we're in business and they can do business with us. So you can choose that here. Now you will also be given the opportunity to let Google know if this is for children. I encourage anybody, no matter what your business is, as business people, it's not being built just for children because most of the time it's accessible to anybody in the public. So I usually say not for children, and in fact, I recommend that because if you do say it is specifically for children, there's a whole bunch of other requirements that you now need to meet because it is directed totally towards children. So can children watch it? Yes. Are you focused in targeting them? No. Once you publish it, now you have the opportunity to share this out. And again, you can repurpose it too. You can send it out either in links in your WhatsApp and Facebook and your Messenger and Twitter. You could tweet it out. So a lot of times in business, people will ask me about the different platforms. Twitter for a business account is like an announcement board. So you can announce, hey, we just posted a video about our wonderful webinar that we just had with Maria. Or it could be that you send it out in your email newsletter, or perhaps you send it out on Reddit. You're answering a question and you're saying, this is how this answers that question in Reddit. Or it could be that you're sharing it out on your blog post too. Again, repurposing that content. Okay, let me see, I see a question here. I may be asking early, but can you go back and change it from one to the other later? Once you can change it from public to private. I'm not sure. You probably can go, yeah, you can go from private to public. Sorry, you can change it that way. It's just that everybody who has the URL prior, like the unlisted URL, will be, you know, they'll still have the visibility. It's just going to not be as pretty URL for everybody else, but you could still do that. So yes, you can. Sorry, Lyle, I had to think about that for a minute. Now, one of the most popular formats, especially now, given that it's, you know, been the TikTok world, right, for the last 2 years, is YouTube Shorts. These are 15 to 60-second videos. This is why I like to take what I'm using within Instagram and I like to bring it here because not everybody's on Instagram, not everybody's on TikTok, but you can use this here. The key is in the description, use the hashtag shorts. You do want to use that hashtag shorts because that is how Google can find that. And the algorithm is favoring shorts right now. In fact, shorts is #1, even above TikTok videos. TikTok's heavy on the heels, but shorts are actually doing really, really well because this, again, is not just a social platform where your video is alive for just a few seconds. It is a searchable platform, so it's got that longevity there. But you can utilize shorts, which I do like to do. And then you can also go to Creator Academy here. This is 100% free. If you look at the lower left-hand corner, that's the URL if you want to take a screenshot of that. If you don't want to wait till tomorrow when you get a copy of today's slides, you can go here for all these free courses to become even better at producing your YouTube videos. Now, as I promised you, the last portion that I'm going to talk about is the only paid portion, but I'll talk about how you can maximize it and get the most bang for your buck. But if you've got any questions, drop those in the question box. I do want to answer those, and I want to make sure that you feel ready to take this on, okay? So let me show you this video while you're asking questions. Oh, can you show the short URL? Yes, let me go back to that. Thank you. You caught me before I went away from that, right there. So you can learn more about it there. Take a screenshot of that. Again, that will give you the guidelines and the walkthrough on how to do a YouTube short. You're very welcome, Brandy. And this is a great way to repurpose your content. All right, let me show you this quick video. Now I am switching to video. This is always dangerous because you might lose sound. If you do, you might need to switch to another screen. Hopefully not, but I'm still here. Let me share with you Tulane's closet.
Sorry about the snorting. Normally, after a surgical procedure, pets typically go home with what's called a cone or an e-collar. My name is Stephanie Seiberg, and I am the owner and developer of Tulane's Closet. When I was in veterinary medicine, I had a lot of clients come and ask if there was something else out there that they could use, and that's how it kind of got started. I had an idea. It's a one-piece post-surgical pet garment. The advantages of the Cover Me by Chewy is that they can eat, sleep a lot easier than wearing a cone. They can actually get through their doggy door. They can relax comfortably. Video can show people what it's made out of, how to put it on, how easy it is to use the potty cover. YouTube, it's great for people that are just starting a new business or small business owners like myself, because we're all on a budget. As you see that business is growing, you can always add to that at any time. We have doubled almost every year since we started in 2013. There's so many people now that really consider their pet their family, and they want them to be comfortable. I think a lot of dogs are a lot happier right now.
Awesome. I love to see that, those little puppies. A little snorting. Well, welcome. Let me know if you can still hear me. Please let me know in the question box, because that's always my fear when I go to video, is that the microphone did not come back on. Even if, okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Lisa, hopefully you can hear me now, because sometimes it has to do with browser updates if it did not come across, if you didn't hear it. But this is where you can get started with YouTube. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Brandy. Elena. Thank you, Derek. All right, this is where you can get started with ads. You'll see it youtube.com/ads. Let me share with you about YouTube ads, okay? Because maybe you do or don't want to put a channel together, but you'd like to show up. For example, I was working with a team that had dog products, so they didn't have a video, but a video like Tulane's Tulane's Closet, they actually run so many videos, they were able to advertise on their video because they serve the same customer, okay? That gives them the most pleasure and profit. So take a look at what you can do with your ads. You can actually have bumper ads. Those are the 6 seconds on either side at the beginning of the end of the ad. They're a bumper, like they talk about. There are non-skippable in-stream ads and in-stream ads. So you have ads that you cannot skip. You have to go all the way through. You've seen those sometimes built into longer videos. You have in-stream ads, which are ads that you can look at and you can skip out of. You can also look at outstream ads. So those are ads between as you're looking around to different videos, or even video discovery ads where it tells and suggests you to you. Actually, when you're looking at it face on, it'll suggest some videos to you. So there are those too. They can be anywhere from 6 seconds to 15 to 30 seconds to a real meal when we're looking here. Now, what I like to teach people, especially small businesses, is how you can use these ads and not spend very much, because the bumper ad, while 6 seconds might seem like a very short time, it's really a long time for you to get your video branding down, to even get your message out there, maybe your core message, what your mission is, or your tagline. All of that can still come across, which is great. So you don't pay for an ad that's a skippable ad. So that's what I'm talking about mostly, is a skippable ad, because they have to opt in. They have to not skip it to be able to see the ad. Once they don't skip it and they watch 30 seconds of the ad, now you do have to pay for that. But let's say they skip it. They see the 6 seconds and they skip it, right? You still have that good opportunity at the beginning, because they may or may not be your good customer, but they just don't want to look at ads, right? So they skip it. Well, you're not going to pay for that person looking, but you are going to have the chance, if you keep within the first 5 to 6 seconds of your video all of your branding, your URL, your website URL, and your mission or your tagline, or the product that you're promoting, whatever you're doing, or the service or solution. If you put that right at the very front, even if they skip the ad, you're getting that great visibility. And what's even better is they'll have this hanging on the right-hand side, that companion banner, follows them as they go all the way through. So it could be, like I said, I was looking at something, looking it up, I'm real interested, I'm shopping for it, but I've got a text and I need to, or the door rang and I need to meet this, to accept a package. Now I've gone away and I've forgotten what I'm doing, but right here, nice and prominently in the right side, very good visual real estate is showing your banner. So you could have that companion banner too. So keep that in mind. These are great ways to use this without spending a lot of money. All right, let's see. You haven't used it in years. No worries, no worries. I'm glad though, that's now you have a plan of things to do. In fact, let me know. I'd like to know what you're adding actually to your to-do list, okay? What do you think is going to be the first thing that you do? Because while I believe, again, that, you know, knowledge is important, I'm not a believer that knowledge is power. I know that knowledge, in order for it to be powerful, needs to be applied. I love what my friend Jo says in her specific definition of it, and that is, knowledge is knowing that the tomato is a fruit. Applied knowledge is not putting it in the fruit salad, okay? So apply that knowledge, because you're investing your time right now. You're spending the last 55 minutes learning all about how you can make YouTube help you grow your business. And as I said at the beginning, 1 billion hours a month, and 26% of businesses, only 26%, have a YouTube marketing strategy. So now you can create your channel. You can also create and upload your videos, as well as explore those additional resources that I was talking about. For example, this might be enough for you so you can make some good business decisions, but you know you're not going to be in the production. You barely do any selfies yourself. This is not your thing. But you do know now what decisions and questions you need to make if you're trying to find a good provider who could do this for you. You could go here to see everybody that's certified in the ability to be able to put ads together. So you're not paying for the learning curve for them. Now you might have local people too. Do reach out to your Google partner, because there might be several local people who are Google certified who can assist you. And Google certification happens every year, so you have to renew every year. And you're looking for an active certification from somebody to make sure that you're not spending time or wasting time with them trying to figure it out, right? Because we don't want to pay for the learning curve. We want the actual action and the visibility so we can grow our business. And again, reach out to your Google partner, because they may already know somebody, or if you've got a friend who's a videographer or an agency, so a videographer or an agency, make sure you let them know about this, because this will help with their own credibility and also to be able to secure more business. Now, you could also download Google Primer. This is a free app that's available on the Google Play Store for if you're Android, or the iOS App Store if you're an iPhone. And you can download this, and there's a great playlist in there already set up, which is Get Found by More Customers on YouTube. So how to set up your channel so your customers can find you. And then if you want to learn anything about Google, I encourage you to go and bookmark the site. You can see all the different trainings that your Google partner who invited you will be able to bring to you, or invite me in to come back again. And I would love to be able to work and train with you, because I do celebrate small business success. I come from a small business background. I do come from a strong e-commerce background, and this absolutely, for you to tell me you learned this, you applied this, and this is the harvest, this is what you did, that just floats my boat. So now it is Q&A time. Let me go ahead and go to that real quick, but let me check the questions to see if I missed any here. I'll decide on the content that my channel needs to put out. Yes, you'll need to decide that. That's a great to do. Really think about that. What is it that you are going to apply? Was something helpful today? Was something meaningful today? Because I'd love to hear from you on that. Let's see. Yes, you will get a copy of today's slides and the video from today, a recording. Let me, in fact, turn that off right now, because I